Boy Next Door dropped Knock Knock Knock, and almost immediately the internet lit up. Screenshots, side-by-sides, angry tweets, and a Threads post from a pop culture account that helped the claim spread beyond niche corners of fandom. Within hours, the conversation moved from new comeback chatter to a full-blown plagiarism debate across Instagram, Reddit, KTT2, and X. That's the headline, but the real story is how online communities interpret style and where the lines between influence and copying get drawn. Here's what actually happened. As verified in the sources, the group released the single and music video. Fans and viewers began posting comparisons that highlighted perceived similarities to Kendrick Lamar's recent stylistic moves. Those posts were amplified by viral tweets and pop accounts, and the Tribune later noted the online backlash, framing it as a plagiarism debate. Important framing. This is a social media controversy. The supplied sources document audience reactions and a news recap of that backlash, not any official claim from Boy Next Door's label or from Kendrick Lamar's team. Who is Boy Next Door in this equation? They're a relatively new K-pop act that's been building attention, and this release put them in the wider spotlight. The supplied research doesn't contain any official statement from the group or their agency responding to the comparisons. What we do have are multiple posts, 2 Instagram reaction posts, a Threads post, and several viral tweets that serve as primary evidence of how viewers perceived the new MV and song. Why are people saying the song and video feel like Kendrick Lamar? The online arguments fall into 2 main buckets, sonic and visual. On the sonic side, commenters on Reddit and in the Kendrick fandom thread flagged a particular cadence in the chorus and some rhythmic choices in the vocal delivery that reminded listeners of Kendrick's phrasing. On the visual side, screenshots circulated that point to dark, cinematic framing, aggressive close-ups, suit styling, and abrupt editing that some viewers associate with Kendrick's high-contrast, artful hip-hop videos. These are audience observations, useful for understanding perception, but not legal proof of copying. Let's be specific about the receipts. The conversation has anchors, a Threads post from a pop culture account showing the initial accusation, at least 2 Instagram reaction posts that many users referenced, and viral tweets that condensed the take into short, shareable angles. KTT2 and Reddit threads collected longer-form fan analysis and outrage. Reddit comments explicitly used metaphors like a Kendrick-sized elephant in the room to express how obvious some thought the similarity was. The Tribune article then documented that the backlash had escalated into a broader discussion online. Those posts are the evidence we can point to. They document perception and spread, not proof of intent. What about the music video's visual cues? Fans highlighted directing choices, moody lighting, close-up composition, certain wardrobe choices, and a rapid, punchy editing rhythm. The comparison isn't a single identical shot, it's an accumulation of style choices that together read as familiar to listeners steeped in Kendrick's recent aesthetics. Again, this is crowdsourced pattern recognition. Without production credits, shared personnel, or direct acknowledgement, we can't say one production copied another. We can only say audiences perceive overlap. The reaction on social platforms moved fast and messy. Viral tweets from accounts like Garl Music and others condensed the critique, which then circulated into mainstream K-pop spaces. On Instagram and Threads, reaction posts collected thousands of likes and comments. On Reddit and KTT2, users debated whether this was homage, influence, or plagiarism. Some responses defended Boy Next Door, arguing that contemporary hip-hop aesthetics are widespread. Others were more accusatory. The Tribune piece is the only mainstream news outlet among the supplied sources that framed the incident as a plagiarism debate, which helped legitimize the conversation beyond fan spheres. Context matters. This incident lives inside a long-running debate about K-pop borrowing from black music and hip-hop culture. Critics and commentators have been unpacking those dynamics for years. Who gets credited, how cultural signifiers are used, and when borrowing becomes erasure. In that light, the Boy Next Door conversation is less about one song and more about recurring grievances over influence, power, and acknowledgement in global pop. So what is fair inspiration versus copying? Influence is normal and expected in music. Artists lift beats, flows, visual codes, and rework them. The critical line is whether borrowing is transformative and whether it acknowledges source cultures and creators. Based on the supplied material, viewers point to aesthetic and rhythmic overlaps. There is no public, verified evidence in these sources that Boy Next Door intentionally copied Kendrick Lamar or that any legal standard of plagiarism has been met. That distinction, opinion about similarity versus proof of copying is central and often lost in furious timelines. How did Kendrick Lamar fans react? Loudly, and with a mix of humor and anger. Some fans made side-by-side comparisons and posted them on X and Reddit. Others used forum threads to air frustration that a global pop product would so visibly echo Kendrick's aesthetic without public acknowledgement. I must emphasize, those are user reactions captured in the sources, not statements from Kendrick or his team. As for implications and fallout, at the time of the documented reporting, there's no official takedown, no lawsuit, and no confirmed production overlap in the supplied sources. What we do see is a public relations problem. Once a perception of copying takes hold online, it shapes narratives quickly. For BOYNEXTDOOR, that means reputation chatter and a renewed spotlight on how K-pop engages with black musical forms. For fans and critics, it's another instance prompting questions about credit and cultural respect. As speculation, and I want to be explicit that this is speculation, it's plausible that shared production trends, overlapping creative teams, or identical visual references circulating in global music video design could produce the similarities viewers flagged. That's not evidence. It's an industry pattern that sometimes creates convergent aesthetics. Treat that as a possibility, not a conclusion. Bottom line, the supplied sources document a fast-moving social media controversy built from viewer comparisons and viral posts. Those posts are valid for showing public perception and cultural reaction, but they don't prove intentional copying. This is a conversation worth having about influence, credit, and responsibility, but it should stay rooted in what's verified and avoid turning collective interpretation into an accusation of intent without receipts. I'll keep watching for any official responses or production credits that could change the picture, and I'll update if those appear.